And sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sandman, Viral Hip Hop News. We're in the building. It's Thursday evening. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast. Oh God, what's good, my brother?
Yo, what's good, everybody in the building? Another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast. Once again, blazing through your speakers, whether you're listening on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. We in the building, the #1 podcast in the world. We claiming it right now. But yeah, man, we in the building today, man. We got quite a lineup today, man. And we're gonna be, I'll give y'all a quick little preview real quick, Sam, man. We're gonna be talking about Jayz, Meek Mill, prison reform they got together to do, along with some other, notable billionaires. Also, Future talking about Jayz, Kelis and Nas. Also, T.I. coming at Travis Scott, as well as a few other things. DMX about to get out tomorrow.
Free DMX.
We're going to get it in today, man. Uncensored Truth podcast, man.
What we always do. 2019 has been a great year so far. So crazy. Yeah. It's only been, day 24?
It's crazy.
In January. I feel like we're in month 6 already.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? We love the work. We enjoy the buzz.
Yeah.
Love the people on each one of the platforms. Viral Hip Hop News, Uncensored. And, of course, the Uncensored Truth podcast official channel. Appreciate each and every one of y'all support.
Yeah.
It's the buzz is electrifying, man. We just love the support.
Back.
Humbled by the support, man. We're just gonna continue to give you nonstop content. You heard the lineup, man. I hear a lot of people saying they want timestamps over there with the full show. I don't mind that. We want to do that. But damn, that's a lot of work, man.
Man, just watch the whole thing. I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But we want you to come on and enjoy the content. You can always pause it with YouTube, and they even have an option. You can save the video for later and come back later. So if you don't get through it, you know what I mean? Just come back. We do the website. If you go to the website, everything that we do, we post it up on the website. So go there, you know what I mean, and get the contact.
Let them know the
watch
address.
The whole thing. It's hiphopun.com is the official website. That's hiphop, the letter UN.com. Go check it out, man, and get context for the story.
Indeed, man. That's a great way to go ahead and get the content if you need it broken down. We don't do timestamps because we got numerous platforms that we deliver the content on and breaking down into great segments for you. If you want to check out something that you may be favorite over the other, go to Hip Hop News Uncensored, hiphopun.com, Viral Hip Hop News, and I'm sure you'll catch that video. If not, watch the whole damn video, man. But we appreciate y'all support nonetheless. Oh God, let's get right into this, man. I know you had a real great live today with the people. I was at the gym. The Uncensored Truth went live. I said, oh shit. He said, I got something to say. You went in, man. So talk about it.
We were just kind of, we did the video the other day. I was saying you sent me the Corey Holcomb, 5150 podcast. They were kind of talking about, some of the people, in the black community, and Dr. Umar Johnson came up, and we did our commentary on it and gave our opinion on it. This is something that I've personally been attached to for well over a decade now, so I think I can definitely give my commentary. See, we can do that. Like, people don't understand that. Like, we're allowed. I was taught to think critically and think outside the box. So that's what we're going to do when we're approaching this. We're not going to let somebody, come in and think they're going to outwit us. You know what I mean? With anything, because we can see through the bullshit with whoever it is. So we gave our commentary on the situation, and we see it for what it is. And to be honest, man, I say we're probably going about 30%. We could go about 70% harder and really just get deeper into this. But I'm not trying to put my energy into that. As far as like getting different timestamps, getting different words that people said, and really showing people what this really is. It'll be a massacre. It'll look bad. But, ultimately, I want Dr. Umar Johnson to get that school. Ultimately, I want to make the video and say, you know what? I was wrong. He's getting to school. Hopefully, I wouldn't send my kids there. Like I said, I would rather send them to a private school in the area, one of these schools around here, because I just don't trust him. I don't like his character at this point. No matter, even if he gets to school, I won't be sending my kids there. But hopefully some people, his supporters, will support him and send their kids there and help that school thrive. Because but me, I won't want to send my kid there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Oh God, I believe there should be a school. He should not be the face of that school when it comes to teaching our young black boys the values of being a black man in America, teaching them the right curriculum, everything that he spoke about, but he put no action toward it. And that's something that we got to hold accountable. See, we let a lot of people go ahead and run us around with the talk, but we don't watch their habits and how they move and let that be the overall general, okay, this is what they're all about. When it comes to this person, we let the talk and the rhetoric get a hold of us, and we're both victims of that. We both fell for the rhetoric at first. Great speaker, great mind, something we needed out here, something that we thought that we needed out here. So it was like, okay, let's ride with it. And then when you hear the school on top of everything else, it just made perfect sense. But you hear a lot of the naysayers saying we're trying to bring a black man down. That's completely beyond the truth. That's insane. Because like God alluded to, 10 years, he's
bringing himself down. Yeah,
he's bringing himself down.
Right.
And we're not allowed to hold men accountable.
Right.
He's trying to he's trying to hold our children. This is what his overall premise. Our future. So we are not allowed to hold him accountable. Was not Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass not held accountable?
Every leader. This is something that he preaches, like you said in the pre-production. He preaches accountability. This is what he preaches. He preaches these fundamental, these leadership values. And for him to not live up to them makes him look like a straight hypocrite, a scammer, and a fraud. They call them confidence men. You know what I mean? Because they prey on the confidence of the people. They get the people's confidence. We confided in him. We were confident that he would do it. So people gave their money. Nobody thought that they would give him, when they were signing those checks away to the FDMG Academy, nobody ever thought in their right mind that he would never get to school. They gave him that money because he talked the talk, and they thought that he would walk the walk. They said, look, Dr. Umar Johnson is going to get to school for our black boys and save our black boys. The Prince of Pan-Africanism, as he calls himself, is going to save our black boys. He put himself as a hero, and he failed the people. Not because, and we can fail, but the way that he's doing it, it seems to be blatant. And what do they do? Those type of people who take money for one thing and not do it, they put those type of people in jail. The white man's world, they put them in jail. And what should if we want to run everything, black people want to run stuff, what will we do to somebody like that? What should be the punishment to somebody who says he's going to build a school for our babies, our future, and don't do it and don't give no accountability? What should be the punishment for that?
Hey, one should ask the people that are out here defending it. One should ask. Now, we didn't really want to get into this to the extent that we've gotten into it. A lot of people feel like we're hating or putting too much energy into it. Hey, man, it is what it is. We'd rather talk to him, the man, personally. We've extended the conversation numerous times.
Right.
Got nothing back. That is what it is. Don't really see us touching the situation much more.
Nah.
It is what it is. You've seen the conversation. They're out there. You listen to them and you judge them for yourself at this point. Just had to get that little bit of clarity toward the end. And I feel the same way. Oh, God. It's at the end of the day, are we not allowed to hold our people accountable? We put ourselves in a real bind when we sit here and put this man up, but not realize he has our baby's future in the palm of his hands, or we're trying to put him with that in the palm of his hands, and he's doing absolute shit with it, holding it with a level of arrogance and disrespect, and telling people they need to be quiet. 250,000 funky ass dollars ain't good enough. It's disgusting on the way he's going about it, and the people that still defend him. Right. I just ask you, come with some real fact on why you're defending him, as opposed to just trying to push and troll and do whatever you're doing, because you're still not proving any fact. No one's worried about your words. Come with some fact.
Well, people talk about the black church. Just to say this, I'm not going to say, you got some churches out there that definitely, are taking money from the people and not doing stuff. But the churches that do help people, they got something that was called a 501c3. You know what I mean? And if you're and this is what Umar pretty much was going for, not necessarily a 501c3, but a nonprofit organization where he'll be able to collect funds or whatever and not necessarily pay taxes on it. Well, the church does this, and the government, and people try to make the correlation. You really can't, because the church is held accountable. They have to have their books a certain way, and they have to take a certain percentage and do a certain percentage in certain situations. You know what I mean? Umar's not doing any of this at all with the money. So to try to make the comparison and say, oh yeah, the church is doing it, the church has to be transparent to a certain extent. Some of them do. We know some of them, people just, they get all the crazy shit, the Bentleys. We've seen the shit on YouTube, but you got some churches who actually got services that you can, get food, that you can get clothing. They're out there, medical care. All types of different things, schools in churches. So the reason I said that, because we had somebody come, into the comment section like, man, y'all kind of offended y'all religious sector that watches the program. So I do want to say that, no, I'm not trying to offend you guys. I'm just saying that take the good with the bad. You got some bad churches. You got some good churches. You got some bad conscious leaders, some scam artists. You got some good ones. Dr. Umar right now has put himself in the category of a bad one and a scam artist himself, not us, him.
Absolutely. And this isn't for views. We don't give a fuck about no views.
That's what laughable. I hate that too.
That's laughable.
I hate that.
That's laughable.
I hate that. Oh, you're trying to do.
Look at the videos before any conversation involving that man's name. Look at the videos after involving that man's name, and you could clearly see they're no different, if not more, than that man's conversation. So no one's worried about the numbers. We're not going to jump into being cocky, very humble in how we move. But that's laughable. Y'all can save us with that. But yeah, I'm about done with that situation.
Yeah.
If you're about done with that situation, I
hope it was cool to get that out.
You know what I mean? You've done it so well. We were talking about it. We got to interview each other. We're gonna bring a different dynamic to the Uncensored Truth podcast as well, because God and I are about to sit on the couch and just talk to each other.
Some niggas need to get that heat. Some situations, sometimes people think that when you don't speak on something that you may be, scared or guilty. Nah, sometimes you just be saving a nigga an ass whooping. You know what I mean? And hitting people with the hard truth and the hard facts. When you care for people, sometimes you don't want to tell them the truth like that. Like crazy, like to give it to you. Want to tell them the truth, but you don't want to tell them bluntly like that. Like, yo, dog, you fucking stink. If somebody stink, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you got the knife that you can break their back open, you don't want to break their back open because you got genuine love for them, but you holding that nuke.
It's like oh, I'm not good. Dog, you just suck. You got to get better at it. This is like if somebody's playing football or basketball and your kid, they keep losing, they just suck.
Work harder.
You know what I mean? You go on the field, even with your son with the martial arts, some kids just not as good as others. It just is what it is. They can be good if they worked harder.
They gotta work.
Yeah, man. But that is what it is, man. We definitely want to get that in though.
Facts, man. Great segment.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother God and Sam, man. Going in today on this Thursday night. If you're listening on YouTube, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you share this video. I'm gonna start with this one right here. The Meek Mill, if you don't know, Meek Mill, Jayz, Michael Rubin, and Robert Kraft have got together to make put together a company for prison reform. So I'm gonna get the video real quick, and then I'll get right back to. Let me put the video up here real quick.
Indeed, man. We listening to the Uncensored Truth podcast right now. Shout out to everyone listening on YouTube, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all the other major online outlets. We appreciate each and every one of y'all support, man. Shout out to my man, John. I ain't going to throw his last name out there, but he ran into me into the Target, man. I'm in the Target. And dude named John came up to me with his son and showed us some love, man. So I really appreciate him. I told him I shout him out on the podcast.
No doubt.
That kind of shit's humbling, man, to be able to be known a little bit throughout the area and things like that. So appreciate that, man. We both appreciate the support. And yeah, I'm just filling up some time right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'm going to go ahead and, put this up real quick. Listen to what Jay has to say.
Brought to this issue because of his celebrity and the egregiousness of the crime, popping a willy and breaking up a fight is what sparked the match for the nation. But for me, I'm from RC Projects. I'm from Brooklyn, and this has been a part of my life. This is communities that we grew up in, all friends that I have, people around me. So I grew up with this issue and seeing people with. Man, like he said, people way worse off than me. He has an opportunity and he had to work hard. We have to applaud him because every setback, he came out stronger. And that takes a really dedicated person. I want to prize you for that. But, but for us, this is how we grew up. And I think Van said something really poignant when he was saying that, we're all prisoners to this. The attention at me, we're all prisoners to this because until everyone's free, no one's free. You think about the idea of growing up in a single parent house, which I grew up in, which we grew up in, and having an adverse feeling for authority, right? Your father's gone, so you're like, I hate my dad. Oh, nobody tell me what to do. I'm the man in the house. And then you hit the street and you run into a police officer. And his first thing is, put your hands up, please, shut up. And you're like, excuse my language, everybody. You're like, fuck you. Right? So that interaction causes people to lose lives. Right? We don't want people that's in charge of the police areas to be in danger either. We want to be very clear. Someone commits a crime, they should go to jail. But these things are just disproportionate, and the whole world knows it, right? And a lot of these issues are in place now because they were like political issues. People run on this and gotten elected to office, and there's no disrespect.
All right, so this, if you didn't know, Michael Rubin, Robert Kraft, who was the owner of New England Patriots, Meek Mill, and Jay-Z had put up $50 million, called Reform Alliance, and pretty much is aimed at, addressing the needs of 4.5 million people on parole or probation right now for unreasonable, terms. Now, Sam, man, being as though what you know about this, before we go a little bit deeper, into this and hear what Van Jones says and Meek Mill, what do you think right out the gate? Because a few months ago we talked about this. Now we have more information that they're really going to try to, deal with the laws that are getting people locked up. They said they're trying to go deep, into, the issue and really address that, to get these people out of prison and stop people from going to prison. What do you think about that?
It was a great move.
Right.
It looks wonderful. You see the money that they put in. You see that the move that they're trying to make with the publicity behind it, with the big names. You're talking billionaires in three of those men: Robert Kraft, Michael Rubin, and Jay-Z, of course, and then Meek Mill, the star power, and then him dealing with the situation directly. It's going to move the people. It's going to get a lot of attention. It's going to gain a lot of media attention, and various outlets are going to pick it up, etc. We shall see how many people it frees. Once it starts freeing people, and I'm not trying to be one of these people to go and be critical of the situation. I'm just going to be one of these people that I love to hear the words. I want to see the action.
Right.
Now, these men are men of action. So I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to see some action when it comes to this situation, but I want to hear more.
Well, let me go a little bit deeper into it to give you a little bit more of a context. You know what I mean? So it says reform first step will be focusing on the 4.5 million people on parole or probation. They said Jones outlined a 3-point plan saying the organization is not a bank, but will instead align with criminal justice reform groups who have worked for decades to amplify their fight rather than to try to override it. We're not here to reinvent the wheel, but accelerate it, he said. The alliance's aim also isn't to hire better lawyers for those on parole or probation, he said, but to go straight to the root of the problem and dismantle the laws keeping people trapped in the revolving door of the arbitrary violations. What do you think about that? They're saying they're going to the root of the problem. Now, I understand you say you want to see, them do it. And before you go, I was reading more about it earlier and what's happening here is you got the merger, like you said, Michael Rubin, Robert Kraft, who admittedly, never really been in the penal system. And you got Jay-Z and you got Meek Mill. It seems like have, had friendships with these two, mainly Meek Mill, Michael Rubin, and be able to let him know, and seeing what Meek Mill had to go through being his friend has pretty much enticed him, and Robert Kraft to really touch the soft spot in their heart, to put their money where their mouth is, to really make a real political move, to do something, real with, we can't now sit around and say, oh, these guys ain't doing nothing. They are trying. I have to salute it, but I want to hear what what you got to say. You want to see the result. I feel you though.
No, yeah, okay, and I do want to see the result. But when you get and you elaborate more on what's going on, because immediately I'm thinking to myself, okay, but what would help a situation? Well, a lot of the things that are plaguing us is once we get into a situation where we get a drug offense that could potentially put us in jail for a while, we got this bum ass public defender that's not going to get us anything. We're going to have to do a plea deal situation that we talked about with lawyers and various other platforms. So we're going to have to do something to get these public defenders out of the way so that people going into the courtrooms don't find themselves end result with them behind bars for no real reason outside of them having a public defender, as opposed to a real certified lawyer that could really change that situation. Because we know the right lawyer can change any situation. We know that from a personal perspective, and we know that from an outside perspective. So money does talk. We know that money talks clearly. So we shall see what happens.
No, it's funny. It's actually real funny that you say that, because you walk right along the lines of Van Jones, who's the CEO, Reform Alliance. He says, I never felt more powerless than watching kids that I cared about getting outrageous sentences. When I had gone to Yale, I had seen kids doing drugs at Yale. At worst, they would get rehab. And when I would see kids in the hood doing fewer drugs, getting 20 to 30-year sentences. He says, their mission is to drastically reduce the number by changing laws and policies. He says the problem is much bigger than Meek. Meek fundamentally, our criminal justice system is broken, Rubin said. So, I mean, it looks perfect, because we had a lot of different questions about, I would say the intent of the people that were involved. But right now, looking at, the objectives of what they're trying to do, it looks real like it could be something real promising. And the names behind it is very surprising. When you look at this, we might be underestimating this right here. I know people are going to comment, oh, no, you shouldn't trust this. But you got the New England Patriots owner, which is the most successful, sports franchise ever, and at least in the NFL. You got the Sixers part owner. You got one of the biggest rappers in the world who's a billionaire. You got other billionaires, too, on the panel, not just them. These are the ones just noted. There's other, like maybe 4 or 5 of them. And one of the biggest rappers who's now going through the prison system, and the FBI just had to intervene, in his court case. This is bigger than I think that, we might be, it might be unprecedented. We never seen nothing like this before, I don't think, in the history. You know what I mean? To see people from different races coming together, because this is the common, we shouldn't trust, white people, or we shouldn't trust Jewish people. That's been the thing. We shouldn't, but now it looks like they're putting their money where their mouth is to help at least the people in prison.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because Michael Rubin, I've had many of interaction with this man on a personal level. I don't want to say personal. Worked in a nightclub. Right. Very popular nightclub in New Jersey. He used to often come to this nightclub in New Jersey. I had a very prominent spot in that nightclub where I walked around at a lot of the high celeb profile people in there. So I had interactions with him often. He's a genuine guy who loves our culture. Now, when you think of the word culture vulture, a lot of names come to mind, but Michael Rubin's doesn't, genuinely, when I think about that, because I know various nightclubs that he's funded for various people of our culture, various businesses that he's helped funded just off the strength of loving them and being loyal to him. I've watched this with my own eyes through just being a fly on the wall and seeing the moves that he made, and then watching everything that goes down. So that being said, there is something real genuine about him. I can say that in the test because I've seen it from my eyes. That being said, we'll see what happens. This could very well be absolutely unprecedented. Money talks. And that dude got just as much money as Kraft and all these other billionaires. There's a lot of money on the table right now. It's way more than names and way more than Starstrom and all that. There's money involved, and we'll see.
I'm surprised you don't see more, of your athletes and entertainers that really speak up, getting involved, and even growing this pot even bigger. You know what I mean? And the one criticism that I can get that people will probably give me backlash for is you got billionaires, you only got 50 million pledge. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I wish,
that's what was a little bit of a mind kind of at first. I'm like, 50 million? You talking, that's a nothing. That's pennies to them. Right. Real pennies. I seen that dude lose that in the casino.
Dude just bought a yacht for like 200 million, I think. A couple of them owners, NFL owners.
That money's easy. It's really nothing. But we talk about the NBA and the amount of millionaires going to turn billionaires when we're looking at the next 10 years of the NBA, the way that looks. And that's guaranteed money over there. There needs to be more athlete billionaires. We're going to see more. So we're going to see how money really influences things. The one thing that they really believe that they have on this is we're going to get the money and give it right back. We're going to buy the cars. We're going to buy the jewelry. We're going to buy the houses. We're going to buy nothing that appreciates with value. We're going to get into tax trouble eventually. They'll get it all back anyway. But now if we start investing our money in things that really matter and putting things out there for our people, then it's really not going to matter who the president is. Now we're going to start having political influence, because now we really see what our dollar can do out here for these people. And the more athletes you start seeing with money that grew up in these situations, with the rise of social media getting only bigger and bigger and bigger, with platforms like this talking about it on YouTube, you're going to start seeing change. Like you said, this can be unprecedented. We'll see what happens. 50 million needs to be way more, but I do think
it probably is. I think, definitely. That's just a pledge by Jayz, according to the article. You know what I mean? But we have to wait to see, what the money looks like. But there's plenty of it there, obviously.
Plenty, bro.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, salute Meek Mill. If you ever watch this, man, we would love to, have you on the podcast, or even Michael Rubin or anybody else, you know what I mean? Because we definitely, salute that type of, work.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man. Going in today on this Thursday, what we going to go to next, man? Let me see, man. Let's go to T.I. Let's go to this T.I. situation, man. It appears that T.I., your boy T.I., I was just listening to a paper trail on the way here, is coming at Travis Scott about him performing at the Super Bowl. We talked about other people coming at my man Travis and really criticizing him for, going to the Super Bowl now to, perform. So I'm going to play what T.I. said. It looks like your boys TMZ caught up with T.I. to ask him about that. Then I'll get you one to you on this segment. Here we go.
Travis Scott, is he not down for the culture because he's doing the Super Bowl? I mean, does he deserve this backlash? He's got Nick Cannon said he wasn't down for the culture.
I don't know. I mean, I think every man have an opportunity where you know what I'm saying, he can make a decision for himself, or he can be selfless. And nobody can tell someone when to be selfless. You dig what I'm saying? That's every man's right to choose that moment for themselves. So this ain't something that he wanted to be selfless about. You know, hopefully in the future we'll see other moments where he will. He did. And that's all I have to say.
So, I mean, the celebrities are trying to, you know, I feel them, though. I mean, as much as I could go in and say, you know what I mean, whatever, at least you got guys that speaking up, as you know, at a certain time. What do you think about, you know, T.I., you know, pretty much saying he can be, you know, a little bit more selfless when going to Super Bowl?
So he's being selfish.
Pretty much.
Stop it. T.I., where's the suit? And not T.I.'s, we fuck with T.I. on this platform. Love his music.
Hell yeah.
Love his platform, love his stance, all that. Fans of T.I., no doubt. But the Super Bowl's in Atlanta. And let Atlanta have been in the Super Bowl. You were watching Atlanta games this year. You're going to be watching the Super Bowl. So for the people that are out here on these platforms,
go to the Super Bowl. Ludacris
you might be chilling there. So for you to be so mad, for all these people to go ahead and serve their public outrage, and that dude is funny. Can you tell me how you feel about Travis Scott with the culture? Is he fucking who the fuck are you? But anyway, TMZ's some funny people. That's a real funny question. But
yeah,
when you can't watch the Super Bowl and then get mad at him for performing at the Super Bowl and then go and watch the second half of the Super Bowl. Can't do that. That's hypocritical to its height. That's so hypocritical. You're not allowed to do that. It's whack for you to do that. For you to get mad at this man for performing there and getting his money and doing what he's doing, and you are watching it and putting just as much effort and faith into it, but then gonna criticize him and then do it publicly. Like I said, if the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, I'm 100% positive T.I. would be sitting his ass right there.
Oh, it is in Atlanta.
And excuse me, if the Falcons were there,
the Falcons, right
in Atlanta, he'd be sitting right there.
Damn.
Tell me I'm lying.
I mean, you know, no comment on that.
I tell you what, you don't got to do a comment. Last year, when this was real, when people weren't watching football, no one was watching football. Who went to the Super Bowl last year?
Was he there?
No. Just tell me who went to the Super Bowl last year.
Oh, the Eagles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people were watching that game. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, yeah, you know, that's a good point. You know, I mean, again,
and there's no fault to him.
He's speaking up. I mean,
maybe he should have just chilled in that situation.
Wow.
In that one.
Yeah.
I got no comment on that. But you made a comment. You had to put your say in this situation because it's trending.
Right.
Maybe you could have been a little selfless.
Yeah. I mean, Travis is getting that bag. So is Big Boy. How come he ain't saying nothing about Big Boy?
Because he's in Atlanta.
I mean, that's an interesting question. Big Boy's going to be at the, you know, not trying to stir up nothing, but I mean, he's in Atlanta. He's in Atlanta. I mean, and so was Shorty Low when he was alive.
Travis Scott is an easy target. Like I said, he was one of these kids that were probably socially awkward, and a lot of us made fun of him. And
so you're saying T.I. scared to call out Big Boy?
No, I'm not saying T.I. scared to call out anybody. I'm just saying, no, I said Travis Scott's the easier target. He's the more popular target.
What about Big Boy?
Big Boy ain't married to Kylie Jenner and ain't gonna be trending and get as much views.
But he's going to the Super Bowl to perform.
Absolutely, he deserves just as much criticism. If you're going to criticize the situation, you got to criticize him. People are criticizing Gladys Knight for performing the national anthem. Wow, think about that. I would never criticize a legend for performing, but think about that.
Yeah,
and the history behind a national anthem in itself, and Francis Scott Key and what he really wrote. But we got people out here saying it's an honor to sing that. But you mad at this dude for singing his own shit, getting his money, and we don't know what he's gonna do with it, and going to keep it moving.
I mean, Kylie getting that money,
point blank. Period. They money getters.
T.I. did have Iggy Azalea at one point as his artist. I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. I'm not, you know,
if the Falcons were in that Super Bowl, T.I. would be there,
jumping in the middle of the field and
shit.
Give a fuck
who was performing. Would probably be out there with Big Boy.
So do you think that T.I. would have took the bag if they wanted T.I. to do the Super Bowl in Atlanta? You think he would have did it?
No, I don't. I genuinely don't think he would have, because he's very involved in the cause, and he knows what that would have did for his public reputation if he would have been out there at the Super Bowl. Come on, man. He knows. He's not stupid. And it's a very popular decision. Travis Scott being a villain right now is very popular in the news. Branding. Ain't nobody dumb. But come on, you may have just kind of just had to say no comment in the situation because you watched the Falcons this year. And if you watch the Falcons this year, shut up when it comes to Travis Scott performing at the Super Bowl, because you watched NFL.
See, I ain't gonna like you, man. Damn.
He probably don't like hip-hop news and sensitive no more than he don't like violence. It's all good. We getting it at this point. They always say that any publicity is good publicity. So if any publicity is good publicity, you must love us. We take it.
Shit, but yeah, man, you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Oh God, and Sam, man. Going into today on this Thursday afternoon, blazing through your speakers on YouTube. If you're listening, I need y'all to do me 2 favors. Hit that like button. Now, all right, Nas and Kelis, however you want to say the name.
You know they're going to get with you, man.
Yeah, I already know, man. It is, but I'll take that on the chin. Are, according to documents, I should say, revealed, the Queensbridge rap legend is upset over several different child custody issues, including, Kelis plans to travel to Cartagena, Colombia. Now, Kelis did put a video out about 6 days ago on IG explaining what she's doing. I'm going to play that video, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about this situation, as well as Nas, making some big deals in the tech world. But here we go.
So I started a new Instagram account. It's Bounty Farms and La Soledad. And so I'm excited. This is Colombia. It's amazing. We're in the coffee region. This is one of the best coffee regions in the world, which is why I chose to do it here. And it's really just an amazing, magical place. So you can start to see pictures and photos and see all the work we're doing, because we are building and we are progressing and we are expanding and growing, literally. Welcome. Bienvenidos.
Yeah. Now, she's pretty much taken their son, which Nas has rights to pretty much see, taking his son, took him out of school in LA, took him to Colombia, and pretty much planning, to relocate there. Nas is pissed simply because he's supposed to be getting his son, and she was in Colombia at the time. So Nas is putting some, paperwork in to try to, get this resolved. He's pretty much pissed that she wants to go there. What do you think about, this situation, Sam? I know it's kind of, T-ish a little bit, but what do you think about this?
He should be pissed.
What would you do?
Get my kid back here. I'd be on the first thing smoking in Colombia, getting my child back here.
And
especially if we're not cool.
Yeah.
Colombia has its nice spots. It does have its areas and things like that. But the fact of the matter is, if you are sitting out here and you got an agreement, and we all know how child support and things like that work. It's a nasty situation, but you're definitely not allowed to take a child out the country without the other parent's consent. They have to have consent. And if he didn't have consent, let alone even know, that's a serious problem on their hands. And I go to tell you this, if he would have done that, she'd be going crazy. Oh, this man did this. She took my child. He
Nas
did this
is, asking the judge, for a contempt order, which pretty much is going to stop her from taking him there. So he is trying.
Hell no, she can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy move. And then talking about moving there. And let me just, this is sad, man, because you never want to see that the child is involved in directly being in hurt from this situation. We don't know what's going on mentally with the kid, with their parents always beefing. We all know how that goes. And then these two are very public and popular in the spotlight. Well, now it's more than Kelis, but they just two public figures. This can't be good for the child. And then now we sitting here saying the child may be going to Colombia. Now they don't know. It's just a nasty situation. But
yeah,
a little tears. But the man absolutely has a right to fight for his child being here, just like the woman does and would in this situation, and would have their child back here. So they need to bring that boy back.
That's a real messy situation with Nas and his ex-wife. They're going through a lot of different, paperwork filings, and that's something they got to get ironed out. Eventually they will. It looks like people are hurt there, but that is kind of crazy taking, to the Colombia, anywhere like that out of this country, just on a whim is pretty crazy. So hopefully they can get that situation, worked out. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually talk about Nas, making some big money once again. Now, according to Business Wire, Nas company Queensbridge Venture Partners invested in this company in 2014, has been acquired by media giant Viacom for $340 million. Now the company is called Pluto TV, which is a corporate website founded in 2013. Pluto TV streams more than 100 channels and thousands of hours of on-demand content, spanning television, movies, sports, news, lifestyle, comedy, cartoons, gaming, and trending digital series, reports Business Wires. So Nas, one of his companies, making a big deal. Now, we did report, I think a few months ago, that PillPack, another company, that was sold to Amazon, for $40 million back in March of 2018. We reported that, on both of our channels. So Nas, man, doing some big things. Sorry we had to report the news about his son and Kelis, but what do you think about this, Sam, man? Another big move by Nas outside of hip hop.
Man, inspiring. Inspiring. I'm going to read a little bit of a caption from Viacom, and I'll really get into my 1-2. Today marks an important step forward in Viacom's evolution as we work to move both our company and the industry forward. President CEO, in a written statement forwarded to the press, Pluto's TV, unique and marketing leading product combined with Viacom's brands, content, advanced advertising capabilities, and global scale creates a great opportunity for consumers, partners in Viacom. Pluto joins Genius and Lyft as Nas' core investments in the world's startup commerce. This is huge. And when we're sitting here in media, and a lot of people may think that we're just a YouTube channel. If you think that right now, you're vastly mistaken. But these kind of things are inspiring because as you grow businesses, in particular tech businesses, you see the potential and where they can go. For somebody to see $340 million worth of value in your product, that only goes to show you what they know they can make from your product. And that's a huge accomplishment for you to be able to build a brand and to be able to sell a brand. You often hear Dame Dash talking about that blueprint. You build businesses, get rid of them, build, become a tycoon. So when you see things like this, and we talked about last year, I think it was something with Amazon, and Nas, he had a huge deal, almost going close to $1 billion. I know what his take was in that $1 billion, but he's making millions and millions of dollars worth of moves out here. And it's very inspiring, man, because we all know Nas as the Queen Bridge rapper, one of the greatest rappers of all time. But we all know music really doesn't make any money. So it really feels good to know that one of the greatest rappers of all time, one of the great influencers, took some of his money from music, invested in a certain situation, and now is really getting the fruits on his labor. It's dope.
Yeah. And it's like you got these bigger companies, whether it be, Apple, Google, Viacom, when they see these companies, small companies start, come up, they're snatching them up. You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing. You talk about like Uber, and different companies who don't have, any cars, but are the biggest, taxi service in the world, but they don't own any cars. So it's a new age, and with the technology and media, that money can be made now. So for Nas to see, the value in these companies first, in 2014 and early, to invest in them now to make that type of money, like you said, is very, very, inspiring to say the least. Because it's like, man, it's like, different things can now happen when you put your money. It's not no longer is the brick and mortar the only thing you can do now. You can, do an online company, and it be worth millions of dollars, a la YouTube channels, or bringing in, millions of dollars, of revenue. So, man, salute to Nas and what he's doing out there, man. I would like to look at Nas's, net worth if we get a chance to pull that up. You know what I mean? I think it should be growing by the second at this point.
It's probably real serious. What do you say to those people, those devil's advocates who will say he shouldn't sell to anybody? Why are you selling your stuff? Keep. What do you say to those people?
I mean, that's crazy. You sell it. If you had an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? If you making, 10 times or 20 times what it's worth, what you think is worth, or you put into it, you sell it. You know what I mean? And do it again. This is the second time he got a big deal. Maybe he might get 10 more. You know what I mean?
This might be the blueprint of what he wants to do. And if right. $340 million isn't a bad flip, but probably not giving up 100% stake. He probably has 2-3% left still in there.
And it's like, it's the thing that goes like, okay, you sell your company. If you're a businessman, you could do it again. So let's just say, for example, okay, you want to sell your channel, you say 10 million, you make another one. You know what I mean? You got 10 million that would have took you how long to make. So that's the kind of, the way I look at it or whatever. You know what I mean? Obviously a little bit different, but I'm sure, he invested way less. You know what I mean? I know that he invested way less than what they gave him. So that's a plus at any time.
Inspiring, man.
Yes, sir. But you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and Sam, man, going in today. I was looking up Nas's net worth. And according to this right here, 60 million, that just popped up on that's net worth. Wealthygorilla.com. That's one of them, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be higher than that real quick. I just wanted to check that.
Maybe let's check Kelis's too while we're at it. Maybe that's where it's going.
Damn,
man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a you gotta get those agreements in place, man. You gotta get those agreements in place, man. But yeah, man, we'll get to that, you know what I mean, another time, man. So a peace to Nas, and hopefully they get that situation, you know, ironed out. But yeah, man, you're tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother God and Sam, man. Going in today on this Thursday afternoon, all my people listening on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for me and make sure that you share this video. You can actually do it while you're enjoying the content. I want to get to this story right here with Future, you know what I mean, and Jay-Z. Future finally responding to this, the album 444, you know what I mean, that Jay-Z made the little statement about his son and all that. He's
at
finally
the Super
responding.
Bowl, niggas playing Future football with your son.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so Future, you know, went on Hot 107.9 and he left a little response. I'm gonna play this clip and we're gonna talk about this. Your boy Future, that's your favorite artist, man.
Ain't it?
Like we've been saying, like you have been quiet. When you hear a line like Jay-Z say, you know, playing football in the future, niggas playing football with your son.
When Jay-Z, when I talked to him, I didn't really say that. I don't want, man. I didn't mean it like that. Like, and I was just like, you supposed to be bigging up the rap community. You need to let you know what I'm saying? Like, the NFL deal with the NFL.
Right.
You supposed to be bigging up me. Anything. Right. We come from the trenches
together. Right.
I come from the streets. You come from the streets. You supposed to be bigging me up.
Right.
You supposed to be giving that no negative attention. You know what I'm saying? Like for a hot line, that something gonna always be out. Like my fault, all that, but it's out now. So it's just like it ain't no my fault or whatever it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even tripping off him. Like you say, like I'm trying to get to where I'm going, and ain't nobody gonna stop me or whatever going on. The talking and the captions or whatever the memes. It can't stop me because it's a vision that I have and it's goals that I have done set out for myself that I got to get there no matter what.
Dope.
I gotta hold that laugh for that. I mean, that was crazy, man, to hear that. You know, he was definitely salty and bothered by that shit, man. What's your thoughts on that, Sam?
Well, I talked about it a little bit on Viral yesterday, dropped a little bit of the story, but I couldn't wait to talk about it on the podcast, man, because damn. Well, we knew that when the line came out, and it was on the first song, we was like, whoo, Jay-Z ain't playing with this album. In the future, motherfuckers playing football with your son. We all knew, like, damn. Then the whole money phone, so that struck a chord deep. But not to be chatty patty, as we all know the situation Future's dealing with Russ and Sierra and all that, and Lil Man and all that. So yeah, it struck a chord deep. A lot of people saying that Future may not be real genuine in what he's saying, because if he would approach Jay-Z like that, his career would have been over. Like, damn, you don't approach Jay-Z like that. Damn. I don't know. I mean, I would have said something. I don't know if his response was how Future's was, but this is funny. Like you said, I was cracking up when I seen it because he's bitter as hell.
Yeah, he's hot. He's bothered by that shit. Like, he just totally wasn't able to handle that question. You know, you could tell he was like, man, fuck that nigga for saying that shit.
He wanted to say that. Like, he should have just said that.
Yeah, it would have made bigger headlines of that shit.
You supposed to be bigging me up.
Yeah, and why?
He said you lead the NFL with the NFL.
But why did he even did they have a prior beat that made him Jay-Z even say that? It just came out of nowhere?
I don't think so, but a lot of the lines in 444 were really geared toward Future. You talking about with the money phone, and then you talk about that line. It was the premise of it was apologizing to Beyonce, but a couple of them slick lines, they were throwing Future's way.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, Jay-Z has a way of kind of, you know, taking shots at guys, you know, even like with the drug promotion thing. I think he took a lot of shots, you know, when he said, you know, Pop Molly, you know, he rocked Tom Ford or whatever, kind of, you know, and not saying that was particularly about Future, but kind of just taking shots at guys for what they're doing with the culture and influencing. And now we see, you know, Jay-Z, Meek Mill turning that around, you know, and trying to do something positive. That's always been the knock against, especially Jay-Z. What is he doing with his money? What is he doing for Marcy? Now he's directly, you know, using his political pull to at least try to get some prison reform. I think that's very commendable, you know, given, let's see the outcome of it first. But the effort right now is very commendable, and I got to salute it.
What I don't want to hear is somebody that goes out here and promotes drug music and negative music get mad at a man that was just simply trying to teach other brothers what would happen if you're a fucked up dad.
Right. Damn.
That's it.
Damn. A lot of people give us a lot of slack for that. The Future joint we put up. You know what I mean? As far as, you know, with the lean, for the sake of, I didn't listen to all the commentary because. See, when we put a video up and we might just isolate Future, because we might have talked about Meek, we might have talked about other people who promoted, but we didn't necessarily put that picture or put them in a title, so they get mad at that. You got to listen to the full context of what we're saying, because what we were saying is that multiple people, even the cats in the South, we even brought up, you know, DJ Screw promoted We're not saying that Future was alone, responsible by himself. There's plenty of other people. We just didn't put them in a title or put them, on the thumbnail.
Yeah, Future may have been influenced by Lil Wayne or Pimp C, or we don't know.
Right.
And I mean, you're 100% correct. I think people really get too caught up often in the title and that thumbnail to where they think that that's the end all be all. No, you got to listen to the context of the conversation. And we appreciate if you listen for a minute. We appreciate if you listen for the entirety of the conversation. But if you leave a comment and that comment be critical, please listen to the context of the conversation before you leave a critical comment, because you may have missed something that you're highlighting. Oftentimes y'all do, but we appreciate it nonetheless.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother Old God and Sandman. Going in today on this Thursday, we will be live every Friday night at 8 p.m. on Hip Hop News Uncensored. That's our live show, man. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. We are most likely going to be opening up the phone lines with people.
Hell yes. Let's
interacting,
do that.
You know what I'm saying, with the people, and let them, you know what I'm saying, this, because we do appreciate y'all. So we want to show y'all that we can be transparent and talk to y'all. A lot of guys just hide behind the YouTube and we'll rock out with you.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time tomorrow. If we got to go past the hour mark where we usually customarily go, fuck it, that's going to be that kind of night tomorrow, because I want to talk about a lot. I want to talk about Fire, that documentary that you got to check out.
Yeah,
talk about that with the people, kind of just get a good gauge of what everyone is talking about out there. That Fire shit was crazy.
It was crazy.
Real quick, do you think Ja Rule, now that you've seen it, do you think that he deserves some kind of culpability in the whole event?
Definitely.
To speak on it.
I mean, he was, not to say, I'm not trying to get a black man to go to jail, as they say, but if the owner, the guy, I forget his name, you know what I mean? They was hand in hand with that
Billy
thing.
McFarlane or something like that.
Yeah. They was like neck and neck. And even like at the end, like when it was falling on his face, he was pretty much admitted, like, yo, this was false advertisement. You know what I mean? They got him on, his voice. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I think so. But not that I say I want to see him go to jail, but liable financially, definitely.
100%. Definitely. He owes people some money.
Yeah.
Particularly them workers down there. When you see when you seen all them workers and the pain in them people's faces, that shit got me the most. And I don't really get caught up in TV like that. But when I seen that lady conversating, and they put a GoFundMe up right now, and I think that she lost $50,000 of her personal money. They got up to about $100,000. They saying, well, she got more than what she paid. And y'all don't understand. That's not the point. That woman deserves more than that. When you talk about the time, the effort, her waking up every day with the thought that this would be for the next 5 years. They're signing a 5-year contract. Times what you just need to multiply what she was supposed to make times those 5 years and give her that. Because that's what she deserves. She took $50,000 out of her own personal thing because she had to stare at these people that just put in hours and hours of their life for nothing. It's insane. And to allow this dude to go out here and do this, and even hear Ja Rule say nobody died, nobody got hurt. You're very lucky nobody died, nobody got hurt. You're not giving them any, you don't have any condition to go to the fucking bathroom, any condition to drink water. You have them locked inside an airport. Somebody could have had an asthma attack.
That shit was crazy. When they say locked, I wouldn't have got locked in shit.
You mean they fucking literally, did you see them change the fucking doors?
That's crazy. We're going to get into that shit tomorrow.
It's going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah, tomorrow, man. Definitely. We got one more story, man, before we get out of here. Today, Vulture has confirmed that DMX will be released from prison tomorrow, January 25th. Now, DMX's lawyer did give an update telling Vulture, I spoke to him. He's very happy. He's looking forward to being home. He's never been hotter than now. People, are asking, for features, they're saying. And, now we know that DMX, was serving time on federal tax evasion charges, and he's being released. Everybody's so excited. People still love DMX, man, genuinely.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to drop this tomorrow morning. I don't know when you'll drop it, but shout out to DMX. Happy to see you home. Congrats to DMX, man, because like your lawyer said, your name is hotter than ever. I really think you're going to be able to bounce back from this. Take the time that you need, but make sure you get interviews. You need to write a book because people are going to read it. If you want to do music. You need to do a podcast. Just get on there, man. Tell your story, because you got one of these voices out here that people genuinely listen to and love to hear. So go out there and spread your message, man. Get back on a positive note, and this will be behind you soon enough, man. Salute to DMX. One of my favorite rappers. Where do you put DMX in your top 10 all time?
I wouldn't put him in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? But he's definitely one of the greatest. There's so many great rappers, man. Like to put list out there and all that is almost not even fair. You know what I mean? But he's definitely, in the top 25.
Would you give him top 3 of the 90s?
Yeah. Definitely. He killed the 90s. He was better than Jay-Z at certain points. It was arguably better than, you know what I mean, Jay-Z. He was the best rapper at one point. So yeah, I definitely remember that whole Def Jam thing was powerful. Him, Ja Rule, Jay-Z. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude, DMX was transcendent, man. Them albums came out. What is it? The Dark as Hell is Hot.
Fest My Fest, But in My Blood.
Yeah, I mean, all
so many.
Just classic albums.
Yeah.
So salute to DMX, man. Like I said, whether you do music or not, fuck it, just come out here and talk, man.
Yes,
Love to hear your perspective. Salute.
Yes, sir. But that's another episode in the book. Nah. One more. Kevin Durant. I think is due to become a free agent. I want to get your thoughts, on that. What do you see happening with Kevin Durant? Should he stay at Golden State? Should he leave? What do you want to see happen with Kevin Durant if he does decide to leave?
Well, if he gets his third championship and they three-peat, I see him leaving. I don't want to see him go to another super team. I think that's whack. I think that takes away from that man's legacy. I think he's one of the top 3 NBA players in the league, but I think his heart is probably top 25 when you jump to a team that you had down 3-1. They beat you, and then you jump to them to win championships and act like you cold as ice. Come on, man. You deserve a little criticism. But that being said, fuck with Kevin Durant. Would love to see him go to a team where he can kind of carry it like a LeBron did with Cleveland. He doesn't owe us anything. He'll probably go to another super team, and we'll probably be criticizing him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would love to see him in DC where he grew up. I don't think he wants any part of that. Can understand both why and why not, because people say it's even more dangerous to go home. Then I understand all that. It would be dope to do that for the city when you see how shitty the Redskins are.
I mean, they got gated communities and all that. I get it though. They still get it in out there, just like anywhere else.
They get it in. Yeah, you don't got to be around it. You can do what you do for your city, and that would be electric for the Wizards to have you back there. But maybe New York, that would be also a good move, even though their franchise in dog shit. Yeah, I bet not see you in purple and gold next year. I bet not see you in purple and gold next year.
You might.
That'd be wild.
I don't like. I mean, the way the NBA is going, okay, that'd be dope to see it, and them trying to beat the Warriors, but that'd be dope. But
that's the only entertaining part.
Yeah.
But that's not even in the finals. That'd be a Western Conference final.
True that.
And then we sitting there looking at what the scraps in the East. Even though East got some great teams right now, I love what the East is doing. There's some good basketball out there because they got good teams, well put together teams, but you ain't got these super conglomerate super teams. And I fuck with Golden State prior to even them having Kevin Durant. They had a real well put together squad that they did through the draft, that they did through. They didn't go out here and try to go grab a big name until Kevin Durant came, and it kind of took away from the mystique of them.
Yeah,
I used to follow them when they had Tim Hardaway and Chris Mullin and all them bums. When I used to go out to Oakland sometimes, my uncle used to sit there and watch them and the Phoenix Suns with Charles Barkley and Thunder Dan Marley and all them. They were bums.
Yeah, straight up.
For them to be doing what they're doing out there now for the city of Oakland is really good to see. But that super team shit, that kind of took away from it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. But yeah, man, that's another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast in the book. Episode 104. We're gonna keep banging, blazing through your speakers. Once again, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. If you're not doing nothing, join us on Hip Hop News Uncensored, our live show. Open up the lines and all that, interacting with the people, reading area codes, reading comments, and all that. So if you're chilling Friday night about 8 o'clock, tune in. To Hip Hop Uncensored to check that out, man. And yeah, man, another one in the books, man. That's pretty much all I got here tonight. I do want to encourage everybody to go to hiphopun.com if you're listening. hiphopun.com is the official website where we post all our videos. We got a lot of good articles over there, so please go over there and check that out.
Indeed, man. Salute to all the people watching on Viral Hip Hop News Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth podcast official channel, which is doing major numbers. If you're not subscribed to the Uncensored Truth podcast, make sure you go over there and subscribe. You'll see them on either platform you're watching right now. Make sure you go hiphopun.com, like Go Guy said, subscribe over there. That's all I got, man. Can't wait till tomorrow.